Dear God, I refuse to heed your call. Perhaps you should not have created me or the Arab people. Hulagu Khan ushered in doomsday for Baghdad. As the Mongols entered the city, they left nothing standing, sparing neither stone nor life. It was the most extensive devastation and carnage ever witnessed in the Islamic world, the Mongol siege of Baghdad. During this era, Hulagu Khan led the powerful Mongol Empire with his younger brother, Hulagu, gaining notoriety for his harshness and military triumphs. Hulagu was cherished as a Mongol leader by the army. Hulagu Khan sent a letter to his brother, tasking him with a significant campaign in the Middle East. This endeavor included the extermination of the Lurs, the eradication of the Hashashin sect, the obliteration of the Abbasid state, and the subjugation of the Ayyubids and Mamluks. What initially seemed like a straightforward mission from the Mongol emperor to his brother, in reality, entailed the conquest of 5 states. Additionally, Hulagu Khan had another stipulation for Hulagu. Cities and populations that surrendered without resistance would be left unharmed, while those who resisted would serve as a lesson for others. Hulagu Khan, in accordance with these directives, began assembling an army. He conscripted every second Mongol male out of every 10 in the Mongol territories. Furthermore, since his campaign targeted Muslim lands, he ordered Christian principalities from Georgian and Armenian kingdoms to provide soldiers. With his colossal army numbering 120,000, Hulagu Khan initiated his campaign. Hulagu Khan first swiftly vanquished the Luristan Atabegate, then turned his attention to the Hashashins, who had been notorious for centuries for their assassinations. As they laid siege to Alamut Castle, perched atop cliffs believed to be impregnable, Hulagu Khan sent a missive to the Abbasid Caliph, urging him to pledge allegiance by sending troops. However, the Caliph suspected a ploy to weaken Baghdad's defenses, choosing to send a chest of gold instead of troops. Hulagu's intention was not for riches. He sought soldiers. Consequently, the Mongol commander took it a step further, ordering the demolition of all walls surrounding Baghdad and summoning the Caliph to him. The Caliph remained steadfast and did not yield to the demand. During those times, incurring the wrath of Hulagu Khan was unwise. He penned a threatening letter to the Caliph. "As I lead my army in a furious march toward Baghdad, I shall triumph over you whether in heaven or on earth. I shall strike you down like a soaring lion, sparing no soul in your realm. I shall set your city and land ablaze." This epistle made war inevitable. Hulagu Khan, having dismantled Alamut Castle, set his sights on Baghdad. Recognizing that his army had been on the march for an extended period, he chose to establish a camp in the Hamadan region for nearly a year, allowing his troops to rest. This presented a prime opportunity for the Caliph to bolster Baghdad's defenses. Regrettably, the Caliph made no preparations. The walls remained unfortified, and the city received no military support. Sources and correspondence indicate that the Caliph believed that divine retribution would befall the Mongols, and he clung to the belief that God would curse them if they dared to attack. The Caliph implored other Islamic states to unite under the banner of Islam against the Mongols, but no state answered his call. On January 22, 1258, the Mongol army began converging on the walls of Baghdad. Their colossal force of 120,000 warriors cast fear over the Abbasids. Advised by his inner circle to escape while there was still time, the Caliph chose to remain within the city, trusting that Hulagu Khan would spare him even if he took the city. Hulagu Khan divided his army into 3 parts and completely encircled the city. The relentless Mongol siege commenced with incendiary devices. On February 7th, the initial breach in the city's walls occurred, and the Mongols gained control. With the walls lost, the Abbasid soldiers retreated into the city. Upon learning of the Mongol arrival, the local population sought refuge in Baghdad, leading to an unusually crowded city. As the people and soldiers began to resist, this resistance would ultimately transform into a dreadful massacre. For weeks, Mongol soldiers massacred the inhabitants of Baghdad, showing no mercy to civilians, regardless of age or gender. Throughout this ordeal, the Abbasid Caliph concealed himself within the city. While the Mongol army was on its killing spree, the people's resistance grew stronger. Yet, over time, this resistance turned into a horrifying massacre. During this time, the Abbasid Caliph was hiding in the city. Believing he would remain untouched, the Caliph emerged to end the massacre and surrendered to Hulagu Khan. However, his confidence in his safety was soon shattered. The Caliph initially made a plea, in line with Hulagu's request, for everyone in the city to disarm and surrender. Although the populace complied with the plea, the carnage did not cease, and it was only a matter of time before the Caliph himself became a target. The Caliph possessed a legendary treasure, and he endured great torment to reveal the location of his personal riches. Once Hulagu Khan learned the whereabouts of the treasure, the Caliph's fate was sealed. According to the beliefs of the Central Asian tribes, the blood of nobles was not to be shed. Consequently, the Caliph was draped in a rug and laid on the ground. Subsequently, per Hulagu Khan's orders, hundreds of Mongol horsemen rode over him, and the Caliph met his end beneath the hooves of the horses. In Baghdad, centuries-old historical structures were reduced to rubble, and its walls were demolished, extinguishing the light of knowledge in the Islamic world. The Baghdad Library, home to the world's most valuable and rare manuscripts, was obliterated. The books were cast into the Tigris River, which, according to accounts, flowed red from blood for a week and black from ink in the following week. Historical sources provide varying estimates, suggesting that between 800,000 and 2,000 individuals lost their lives in Baghdad during this tragic event.